Hello, everybody. It's Linda, False Teeth Real Tarot, and today I'd like to. I was walking past this box of rocks that I have. Of course, I got a box of rocks, right? and I picked this stone up, and um, as I started to look at it, I was told to do a story. So I didn't examine this rock all the way or anything, but what the first thing I seen when I was told this was this right here. And so I think that kind of looks like maybe two friends or two brothers walking. And I turned it a little bit and I seen a bird. But let's start this story out with two brothers walking. Two brothers were taking a walk one day after they had their chores done, and maybe they was going to go look for some herbs and stuff for making some medicines for their family while they had a little bit of spare time, right? But anyway, these guys was walking and walking, and um, as they was talking about like the good old times and running around playing when they were kids, when they didn't really have chores and stuff like this, there was a mountain coming up, and all of a sudden they heard this voice, and they were like looking around, and knowing that they heard that voice before, but they just didn't know who it was. And then all of a sudden, they heard their grandfather. Eyes, nose, mouth. They heard their grandfather. And they said, "Yes, grandfather?" And he said, "Today you're going to come across some things that you need." Hold on a second, please. Thank you. One of my grandbabies was calling. But but as they heard their grandfather speaking, they were looking up, and I know the one boy was thinking, "I miss you, grandfather." I'm sure the other boy was saying or thinking the same thing. But then the grandfather spoke, and he said, "You're going to come across some things today that you will need in 3 days. You are going to need the messages that you hear in 3 days." And so they was thanking grandfather for his wise words, and they continued on their journey because grandfather faded away, and they came across this bear. Nose, mouth. They came across this bear, and they were watching him. And as they were watching him, the bear stopped. The bear was clawing on a tree, and the boys was watching. And the bear stopped, and they looked at him. Or as they looked at him, the bear turned and said, "With my clear words, take this warning. As you take this warning, you're going to come across something that you've never came across before. But have no fear. You will have the courage and strength of a bear. And the boys replied, "Thank you, Bear. Thank you for that. Thank you for that message." And then the bear continued to do what he was doing. And then the boys, they kept walking, and they kept walking. And they were wondering and talking to themselves, asking themselves, I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what's going to come about. And they were just, hoping that nobody got hurt from it or everybody was going to be happy from it, because they just didn't know. And then all of a sudden they came across this wise old owl. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Boys, boys, it called. And the boys looked up. They were saying, "Yes, oh wise owl. Are you here to help us on our journey?" And the owl said, "Ooh, yes indeed. Yes indeed I am. You're going to come across in 3 days something that you've never seen before. Prepare yourself. Become wise. Prepare yourself." Then the owl turned, and the boys continued on their journey. They were walking over hills, and they played around in the creek a little while. And then they were looking at each other, and they just, started talking. I wonder what's going to happen. Oh, I don't know. Let's go home. We can prepare a fire and tell everyone what's going on. And so they did. They made their way home. And they got to their home. And when they got to their home, they said, "Father, Father." And then the father came out. The father came out of the home and said, "Yes, boys. Did you have an experience today?" And the boys replied, "Yes, Father. We seen Grandfather. Grandfather was in the sky and he spoke to us." What did Grandfather say? He said that we was going to be meeting people on our journey, meeting spirits, and they was going to help us on our journey. Something's going to happen in 3 days, Father. And then the father said to him, "Then you must prepare." And so the boys, they left their father. And some of the other kids that were there came up to him. Looks like there's a bunch of little people at the teepee. And they said, "What's going on, brothers? What's going on?" And they said, "We have to prepare. There's something going to happen in 3 days." So they all combined all their knowledge, and they got some things to make. There was they found sticks, nice, strong Nag Champa sticks. And then somebody else got some intestines from the guts of a bear. And they took them, and then they took him and they cut him, and they poured him. They poured him, made sure that they got it real nice, really nice. And after they prepared their stick, they put oils across it, fats from the bear. They heated it in the fire, and they put it across the stick to make it stretch and stay strong. And then they tied them all together, and they made nice strong bows and arrows. After the journey of these several days that was passing, they came across this bird. And this bird said to them, "Did you prepare?" Said the wise owl owl. And the boy said yes. And some of the other boys in the tribe did also. "Well, that's good. Hoo, hoo. One more day. Just one more day." And he winked. And then the boys went on their way, walking up the hills. There they go, just walking. And then they found where they had lit the fire before. They sat across their favorite log. Sat across their favorite log. And they discussed and prayed and meditated over the fire. We know that Great Spirit has us on this journey. We are prepared. We have our tools. We took strong rock and took another stone, and we made tools. We are prepared. As they heard that music from the rocks hitting each other, they knew they were on the right path. So as they were sitting on the logs, talking, preparing, meditating, talking with Great Spirit, thanking them for what they needed to do, what was their next steps. So in these steps, they was walking on. When they was walking home, they seen another great bird perched across the tree. The head, the body, the wings of this bird was huge. And the bird said to them, "Hello, boys. I see you are on a journey, a quest." And the boys said, "Yes." "Have you spoken with your grandfather?" "Yes." "Have you spoken to the wise owl owl?" "Yes, we have." "Did you prepare some medicines to take along your journey?" "We'll get that tomorrow. I'm sure we have the right ones. We'll ask Father. But if not, will there be time to prepare?" He says, you have the right ones that you will need. Your father knows. He has spoken with grandfather. And so the bird then replied, do you see the cloud people, the people in the clouds, when you look up? Your brothers and sisters, the people from before, your ancestors. Do you have a power animal? And the boys replied, well, we came across a bird, an owl. We came across a bear. He was huge. We came across you. We know we're on our right journey. We will become men. We're strong. We're fast. We're warriors. And the bird said, all right. Go on your way. You have one more day. And so, as they were walking away, they remembered all the past warriors, all the past warriors that had come before them. And they called upon them. They looked up in the sky and they seen, and they said, ancestors, will you be with us on this sacred path that we have upon us? And the clouds opened up their mouths and spoke and said, yes, we will be there. We will be there, just like grandfathers was with us. This will provide food for many, many moons. It will get you through the cold weather, the snow. It will allow you all to have food, warmth, good bones. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, ancestors. So then they went home. And when they were there, their moms of the village prepared a mighty feast. They prepared good food and good words. They prepared many things, but they have not said it all. Because if they said it all, they would already know before they went in to the rest of their journey. And if they was going to become warriors and earn feathers, they would have to endure this by themselves. Rest well, boys. You've got your belly full. You have a day tomorrow that will be the first of your kind. So off to bed they went. They laid across and talked for only a moment. And they said, rest well, brother, for tomorrow we will come across this journey, this sacred path that we are on. So before they left, they prepared and they laid pine down tobacco to Mother Earth, Father Sky, Grandfather Moon, or Grandmother Moon and Grandfather Sky, Sun. My words get jumbled sometimes. I'm hearing them before I'm saying them. So off you go with all the medicines you have, all the medicines you'll need, your bow and arrow, your stones, all the things that you have prepared yourself for. So off they went, walking and walking along the trail. They're walking along the trail in excitement, not knowing what's going to be found, not knowing what's going to be there, not knowing what's going to come around the next mountain, the next side, because they walked and walked. And they continued to walk. All of a sudden they spotted what they thought was a cave. So they walked around it. They were looking for what they were supposed to do and what they became prepared for. So they didn't know what was coming next. So then they quieted their minds, and as they were looking for things, they remembered the bird that they seen. They remembered the ancestors that was up in the clouds. They were remembering the bear, knowing that they was going to have great strength. And then all of a sudden there it was. Out from the cave it came. Get your bow. Get your stones. I hear something coming out of the cave. Something's coming out. Something's coming out. It's a mammoth with 4. There's 4 tusks coming out of the mammoth. They've never seen a mammoth with 4 husks, only 2. So they took their bow and they took their arrows, and one after another shot the arrows. They just kept shooting him. They took out the mammal's eye. It is gone. And then the other side is all bulged out to where he cannot even see very good. He can't see very good at all. And then they just kept going with their bow and arrow and slinging rocks, just slinging everything they had. Then all of a sudden the mammoth fell. And stopped breathing. The boys took out their knives that they had made. They prepared, and then they cut the throat to make sure that it would stay down. Then they laid their hands upon it and prayed, thanking Great Spirit for allowing them to both stay alive through that mighty battle that took so long, but it didn't seem like long at all. And now they would have food. They would have the hide and the bone. They went back to the teepee. And they said, Father, Father, we killed the beast. It had 4 tusks. And the father shook his head. Gather your brothers. Go fetch the beast. All right. So that's what they did. So they went and they got this beast. They put it on some hide that they had cut away from this big mammoth. And then they each took a part of this beast. And then they had plenty for the winter to come. Great Spirit always takes care of us. Sometimes we gotta work a little bit though. Sometimes we just gotta take the time to say thank you. And listen to our grandfathers, our grandmothers, our mothers and our fathers and all that came before us. And they got back. They went to the medicine woman. And they told their great story. And she took a little pinch of this and a little pinch of that. And she put it all together and she mixed it up. And she mixed it up. She mixed it up. And gave each of the boys a little bit in their mouth. And then some down their nose. And the boy said, why did you do that? The great medicine woman said, you have an eye that's up here. And now you know. Because your nose is in front of your face. Your nose comes out before your eyes. And your third eye is connected deeply into your heart, into your gut. To always listen to your gut. And it will take you to places and things that you could see and know and hear. Just follow your instincts. Follow your knowing, your seeing, what you could see in your mind. Some people call it your imagination. I'm sure maybe if you didn't have an imagination, maybe you wouldn't be able to see and hear the words from Great Spirit. But that's all I have for tonight on this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give us a thumbs up. And I appreciate you all. Peace out.